When I said the Breakfast Club was over, I meant their impact is not the same. Nobody looks to them for information and the cool shit. That's what I meant by it was over. The allure that was there at one point is no longer there.
Stemming from this whole interview, obviously Charlamagne sat down with him. A lot of people are saying that you all, there's some like unsaid beef between you all because he did conduct the interview with Gucci. Is that true? Any truth to that?
Would you do that? If it was you and Quicksilver, you guys, would you do that?
There would be a discussion first. Was there even a discussion?
No, but I knew he was doing the interview. I just think that in general, if you work with somebody and someone's saying things like
negative things,
nasty, like things you can't even say on the radio in a really derogatory way, whether or not you work with that person, you know, talking about a woman in that way, because I have never called anybody out of their name.
Yeah.
I think that's the real issue. Like, you can't just sit there and laugh when something like that happens.
Gotcha.
They approached me up here at iHeart. Thea had to sit down with me and tell me that they are going to give me my very own show.
The Breakfast Club, as you know it, is officially over.
I feel like just off of that, I should have seen it coming. So she sent that tweet on, what was it, Wednesday, Thursday? Mm-hmm. And everybody immediately assumed that the Breakfast Club as a whole is over. I even fell into it as well. For whatever reason, I didn't see that tweet for what it was. I should have seen, if she's tweeting it and it specifically says, as we know it is over, then I probably should have peeped that there's going to be some changes, but it's not over.
Done. Yeah.
She would have probably just tweeted, the Breakfast Club is done. As the marketing genius that they all are at the Breakfast Club, obviously she sent that tweet out and everybody went into full panic mode and thought that the Breakfast Club was over. But in fact, the Breakfast Club will continue as just DJ Envy and Charlamagne. And he will have not only one radio show, which is, I guess, right after the Breakfast Club, but then she's also going to have Lip Service as a show with iHeart, not as a radio show. So I guess her show is joining iHeart's service. A big win for Angela Yee. I mean, she gets literally her own show and, you know, a paycheck for her Lip Service podcast, which she's been doing for quite a while. But it's still somewhat of a breakup.
No, it's definitely a breakup. It's a definitive breakup. She's no longer on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And I can't say that we didn't see this coming. Like, that's been there for a while. I wonder what the final conversation was. Because I expected this shit to have been over after the Gucci interview.
But for the record, he's not banned. I don't even know where that came from.
It came from that punk ass bitch, man. And DJ Envy. He's a pussy too.
Yeah.
So I wonder what even made him hang on this long. Is the Breakfast Club just as good? Like, I feel like there's a lot of other things besides Angela Yee leaving that are working against the Breakfast Club. Number one, they were on a dying platform as it is. Then if you think about right around the time that all of this shit started happening between Charlamagne and Yee, there was the pandemic. Where did the vast majority of people listening to the Breakfast Club listen to the Breakfast Club?
When the pandemic was happening, nobody was listening to it because they weren't
listening to it in the car. They weren't driving to and from. What happened in the midst of the 2 years after the pandemic? A lot of people ended up going home. So I'd have to believe that some of their listenership has been slashed on top of there being friction between the host. So that sounds like a recipe for let's do something different.
And on top of that, me, myself speaking, I split time between the Breakfast Club and the Morning Hustle because we got two radio stations.
Yeah.
So I don't exclusively listen to one show every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's other options as well, aside from just listening to the Breakfast Club.
And then that was a time where shows that could be consumed over platforms like YouTube, Spotify, things like that exploded because everyone was at home. Mm-hmm. So you have the fact that you don't have the traffic, you don't have the radio traffic, right? There's controversy between your hosts, and there's an influx of people who do exactly what you do, competing with you on these internet markets. Something needed to change there, and I think the opportunity was made between the spat, obviously, between Yee and Charlamagne. First of all, do you think it's isolated to that? Do you think that there's smoke there with Envy as well? Because I feel like Envy took her side. in the midst of all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think he did too. No, I think she probably found an opportunity to get out, and so she took that opportunity when she could. I don't necessarily believe that it's just her and Charlamagne, I'm out. I think it's specifically she got an opportunity to get out when she could.
Sure.
And so she took that. The other thing that I think might be because of a culmination of the things that you mentioned is the fact that they have had less viral moments. Mm-hmm. Like, it used to be a thing for the Breakfast Club to have all these viral moments. Oh, Charlamagne dealing with this person and doing.
I don't
this
think
and doing
that as host, I don't think they feed him that as much anymore.
I can see that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always a thing to listen to the Breakfast Club and hear some like homoerotica from Charlamagne that was usually set up by one of the other hosts.
Yeah.
I don't think that they like milk that as much as they used to.
And on top of that, Charlamagne himself is just not the same person that he used to be when they were just, throwing out all these viral moments.
Also, with Yee being the one that seems to be setting up her career after Breakfast Club. Well, I mean, they all are to a certain degree, but she's the one who used the break from the Breakfast Club to springboard her next ventures, right? Mm-hmm. You got to look at it. Envy is a real estate mogul. Mm-hmm. So, like, this Breakfast Club money shit it's a way to continue his brand, but it's not consequential to his bottom line.
And he's a whole ass DJ.
Charlamagne out. Is he though? Where the fuck does he DJ? Where does Envy DJ actually?
Shows, bro.
He don't even actually DJ on the Breakfast Club.
He be doing shows, bro.
Where?
He be doing car shows, and then he do the
no.
DJing
he does car shows because he has cars.
Yeah, bro.
He doesn't do car shows to. Damn, I'm spitting. He doesn't do car shows to fucking DJ them.
But he also does DJ at the car show.
He's not a real DJ.
DJ Envy's a real
He's not a real DJ. He know a lot of real DJs, but he's not.
DJ Envy be out here DJing, bro. He be DJing clubs and shit.
No,
I'm sure.
where?
No, I don't know, but I'm sure he be out there. Bro, if we look at his Instagram right now,
that nigga has 3-4 kids and a wife. He's not setting off nobody's club scene. I don't believe that he doing no sets nowhere. Maybe once upon a time.
No, bro. He be doing them shits.
Anyways, they clearly both had a leg up in terms of they being Charlamagne and Envy. Clearly had a leg up in terms of ventures outside of that platform. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like if anybody was going to be the one to say, all right, I'll leave in terms of what we're going to do to shake things up, it was going to be Yee, because Yee is the one who needed, like, lip service. Yeah, that's cool, but she's only just now getting paid for lip service outside of probably the YouTube ad money, but that ain't shit for her.
Is lip service even on YouTube?
Yeah.
I think they were getting podcast ads because she was on the same network that the Brilliant Idiots was.
But see, but that's not.
Yeah, it wasn't iHeart money.
Yeah, that's not iHeart money.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't have a deal. That's just sponsorship money, which is good, but it's not. She's not competing with Charlamagne Comedy Central money. She's not. We got 3 or 4 apartment complexes all across the boroughs.
She had a juice bar.
She does have a juice bar. I forgot about that. She does that. She had that juicing business that she had her, her fam working out of.
Yeah.
But again, if you had to line all 3 of them up, Yee was the one that needed to make a move. And clearly, I think probably the station thought that there was some moves that needed to be made. So this is where we ended up.
Yeah, I guess there was I almost want to say there was a dynamic there, but I guess even then, like, what she did was the rumor report.
Yeah.
And during the interviews, she would tell people how she knew them and ask them to spit their gum out. Like, that was
and also hammer home the female perspective belligerently. Like, she would always find a way to be the naysayer for the female perspective, and for better or worse, that was her role on the show.
And she got into a fight with K. Michelle.
No, I don't feel. I have to go back and see who brought it up, because I remember it was in all of our notes. I don't remember that I brought it up.
You wouldn't remember it.
I don't know who brought it up.
You brought it up.
But I do feel like I was like, what? I did say.
Did she?
Not a fist fight, but an argument. She didn't even get in an argument. K. Michelle told her off.
Was she asking some weird questions or something like that?
No, I think K. Michelle was basically accusing her of being a hater. That was one of their viral moments. That's one of the only ones that Angela Yee provided.
Was the fight with K. Michelle?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. But I don't know how this is going to to work for the Breakfast Club, being that there's only going to be 2 people now.
I don't think the Breakfast Club was breaking down barriers the way that they were maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I get much more moments from Drink Champs.
Yeah, this is not a time for radio shows. Who hears Howard Stern making waves unless he's talking about being in a Marvel movie? Is anybody checking for Ricky Smiley? The only time that we hear anything about DL Hughley is when he's beefing with other more popular celebrities. So radio, as it is, I think you see why Tom Joyner got out when he did. Steve Harvey, is he still on the radio? I don't think he is.
I think he might be.
Is he?
He might be. Because he doesn't have his own talk show anymore, does he?
I thought that's where he was at. I thought he was on TV.
And
Family Feud.
He had a talk show, and he had a radio show, and he had Family Feud.
I don't think the radio show was on no more, dog.
One of them is not on. It's either between the talk show.
Radio show is not on anymore. I don't believe. But then again, I'm not riding around Columbus at 4:00 in the afternoon anymore either, so I wouldn't know. But my point is, radio is not. It's not what it used to be. I would argue that radio is more of a young person's game now because the giants aren't gianting anymore. So the landscape is open for new and fresh.
But I think
in a different perspective as opposed to the old giants, because ain't nobody checking for y'all there. The old giants on radio are trying to make their way elsewhere now. They all on YouTube trying to
but who started
bolster their platforms.
The radio show's on YouTube.
Breakfast Club.
So I think they kind of always knew that, but I don't know. For whatever reason, what they had was working for the longest. Then more people started entering the game. Then it became a little bit tougher for them.
Sure.
You know, obviously the Joe Buddens, the Everyday Struggle, the Drink Champs, all the other, things came into play.
I think that they have done the talk show apparatus a huge disservice by trying to cut the line, trying to take your already bolstered platform and bully your way into this space. Well, you just signal to every celebrity there is that, oh, we can do that shit too. And so now you've oversaturated the market to the point where now that YouTube viewership is not doing enough to keep you afloat. It's not doing enough to set you apart from the other motherfuckers who also have 100,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? Like if you're sitting there 1-2 million subscribers as the Breakfast Club page, Ab and Preach got that out of a back bedroom
with creaky floors. You
know what I'm saying? Like now you've recalibrated what is quote unquote big.
And to your point, I mean, I would love the Breakfast Club's following, but for each individual within that, Charlamagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee, that is not enough compared to the things that they have going on outside of the Breakfast Club.
Sure.
So even themselves, they probably don't have the same interest in it as they once did, especially when you're battling, infighting and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A little interesting take, I guess.
Sad state of affairs. Give us your thoughts. What do you think about the Breakfast Club now being DJ Envy and Charlamagne Tha God? Miss Yee doing her own thing on the lip service. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And make sure you subscribe, like he said. We like to talk about things like this quite a bit. And make sure you check out our previous, Joe Budden breakup videos, like the last thing we talked about.
Sure.
That was similar. So make sure you check out that last video and make sure you subscribe.